There we go. Woo! Okay. I plugged things in correctly. Correctly, I plugged them in. Yes. That's good. That's good. Okay. After listening to the last playback, the playback of the last session, I turned up the gain a little bit so that my normal talking voice wouldn't be quite so quiet. We're still way better than the first, but, it is a process of gradual improvement. As mentioned, I'm starting with a fresh mod pack. Modern Lightweight Magitech. It's a kitchen sink, which, for any layman who may have wandered in, means it's a little bit of everything. Magic and tech and building pretty things. And cats. One of the mods that I added to the pack was Village Spawn, because with the Lithosphere world gen, which is really quite cool and makes kind of more realistic worlds than Minecraft's default, it can also put you a long way from anything useful. So, Village Spawn guarantees that you spawn in the middle of a village. I also had to add the World Preview mod because the first attempt I spawned in an ocean village where everybody was in a boat except me. So I drowned and died and decided to install World Preview so I could make sure I did not start my very, very short existence at the bottom of the ocean. This is, this is better. My normal pattern is to kind of go crazy, and I'll find a mod pack, it sounds cool, and then I'll go and add 20 or 30 more mods, because, hey, what's better than a little? A lot. But I'm trying to be a little more minimalistic for me, so that you can see a little better what this the Modern Lightweight Magitech mod pack looks like from a fresh install, with the exception of the village spawn, because I can't help it. But this way, at least I've got some resources nearby, and this being the itinerant colonizer game, now's the part where we go through and look for chests that we can steal from. Sorry everybody, I will make it up to you. I will bring you Civilization, Starbucks, cable TV. It'll be awesome, I promise. Okay. Anyways, back to plundering. The shader I'm using at this split second is Rethinking Voxels, which a little dark. Let's hey, hang on a second. Let's try. Yeah, hate that. Let's try BSL. Hey, and hopefully I didn't crash anything. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I can actually see things now. Let's see. Is it a lederhosen or a kilt? It's a machinist. Okay. Anyways. And we got a beekeeper. Hello, you like flowers. You wanna... So, starting in the middle of a village kind of helps if, world building is one of the things you're interested in. Oh, he's a lucky unemployed guy. Because he can help the village prosper a bit. This mod has productive bees, so that you can farm them and have bees make things for you. Like Starbucks and cable TV. I don't know. We'll find out. Never really messed with it. It also has the tree chop mod, which just gives you a different way to look at cutting down trees. Yes, hello. Lovely house. Best to keep it polite. So, and you know, if the attention span holds out, we can go through and renovate all these places. I should find a bed of my own. Find or make. Didn't I just go into one of these? Is this literally the same one? No. Alright. Repeated structures. That's a thing. Maybe if I take out some of those workbenches, I can decide for myself what it'll be. What is? I have snowshoes. Improves the relic bearer's mobility in harsh, snowy conditions. What is whip? Okay, well. And this one is sort of a puzzle-solving thing. And once you've solved them, the puzzles a few times, it becomes more a matter of remembering where the dots are to connect than anything else. Ooh. Okay, so I can move faster on snow. And walking on snow without sinking, that is also a good thing. So let's put those suckers on. Snowshoes. Very fetching. Oh, that's right. Okay. There are some mods that let you look down at your actual body, but this pack does not include them, and they're not strictly necessary. Why is this one? Yeah, right. I don't want to steal a bed anybody might actually need. So let's go see if we can find some sheep. Or maybe just one more. Can I do anything with the iron rod? I mean, at this point in the game, not really. Excuse me, pardon me. Anything in here? Oh, yeah, that kind of is. Huh? That doesn't sound good. Somebody hurting themselves? Okay. Well, back where I was. Well, we got a nice little farm. We have chicken. Yes, chicken. Okay. There's a sheep. There's a sheep this way. So I want to be careful. If there's only one sheep, that's not going to be enough wool to make a bed. So let's see if I can improvise a little bit. You better not eat my sheep. Okay. Well, okay. That's a thing I'm sure I can use later. Giant meteor from the sky. Looking over my shoulder because Mrs. Geek is watching this stream on the TV while I'm doing this over here, and that is cool. But it's also weird to see my game on TV. Like, oh, if only I were better at this game. Oh well. She finds me amusing, and that's all I really need out of life. Okay. Let's make some useful tools. I have problems committing to the whole plunder the village thing. I feel bad. So I eventually stop and go find some other way to gather my resources. Just plunder the land directly, you know. But we're getting close to sunset, and that's not a great time for a freshly baked Minecraft dude. So let's wander back to the village. Temporarily borrow somebody's bed. There's one sheep, and I know there's another sheep over there, but I need 3 wool. Yeah, hi everybody. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'm renovating. See, I'm making myself useful. I'll just borrow this bed. Can I sleep yet? Yes. Okay. We'll move in a different direction from the creeper on the little map. Some folks have strong opinions against the mini maps, like Journey Map, the mod that provides what you're looking at in the corner there. I look at it like GPS, and ever since it's been an option, I very rarely go anywhere without GPS, and I don't see why that can't carry over into my gaming style as well. Big trees. Yeah. Cows. We like cows. They're tasty. And what is this big gray space? It's gravel. A big gravel beach. Okay, alright, well. There's and another bee. What do you do? Well, I'll figure that stuff out later. So as cool as the lithosphere world generation is, one of the things I often end up doing is, with this mod pack, is grabbing a different world gen, because lithosphere doesn't have nearly as many huge obvious caves for you to dive into to start dying and or mining. Instead, there's a lot more wandering. I just want to find one iron nugget. I'll take a little coal though. And I think part of the idea for the mod pack author having chosen lithosphere is to really encourage you to get into that large scale thinking early. Or maybe it's just that the big coasts look cool to them. And realistically, I can probably just pick a spot and start digging straight down. But let's hold off on that for a minute, because I'm also enjoying looking around at the pretty scenery. Getting an idea of the world I've popped myself into. Oh, and look ahead. We have what I like to call extra sheep. Non-essential sheep. No, hush. Alright. It'll all be over soon. Okay. Now I have enough to make a bed. And I have no idea where my village is. Ha! I should have bookmarked that, huh? It's somewhere. Oh yeah, it's right around here. Let's go back in that direction so that we can correctly mark the center of our new universe. Maybe let's grab a couple of large tree. This is a very big tree. Takes a lot of chopping. I enjoy this, but I also enjoy drawing ridiculously detailed, repeating pattern images, so, take that into account for any evaluation I make. I have an unhealthy love of grind, and for the non-lay people who have come by, that, yes, that does mean I'm interested in trying out Greg Tech New Horizons at some point. Waiting for 2.9, not that it makes any difference whatsoever with my skill levels, but, that shinier version is just around the corner, so when that comes out, I will undoubtedly relish the opportunity to humiliate myself in public now with it. That should be fun. Do. It is a pretty forest. Okay. So we're back with the spruces and the actual villagers. Okay. And fighting a bit of a cough in the back of my throat. My excuse for being a little quiet in the moment. But hey, not that I need an excuse. So, this is like a decent spot. Once I engage in a little friendly deforestation. I have exhausted my supply of inventory slots. What can I do? I can plant that maple over here. Make myself a nice chest. Make myself a nice forge. And get a bed before I forget that again. And we'll just put it right there. Not incredibly practical, but that's not necessary. I'm going to make myself a little more coal. Okay, I'm going to do this. I can just use my starter wooden tools to start this whole process. Okay, and where was I? I was emptying out my limited inventory. Immersive engineering, that's a fancy one I want to get into. Part of why I had picked this mod pack, why it caught my interest. It has Create, it has Ars Magica, it has Immersive Engineering, it has AE2, it has Productive Bees. It has a lot of the core builder and automation mod packs that I have always wanted to play with more without the distraction of a huge quest book, like All the Mods or Feed the Beast. I can just go, ooh, what's this? Which is basically how I do my best. That's how I do all my best work, is just, ooh, what's this shiny thing here? Can I knock it over, or can I build it up better? Did I remember to mark this as my bed? Yes, I did. Okay, good, good. That's always awkward. This mod pack also includes most, if not all, of the Macaw mods, like the Macaw's mods for roofs, doors, windows, etc., bridges. So that is another motivator for me, because although it can be easy to get yourself a little too constrained with those, this is what a roof should look like kind of thinking, it's also really nice to be able to just put together something with what looks like an actual roof. I think it's a little late in the day to actually be doing heavy building, but I can do my standard block starter. And it's a weakness. I really, really enjoy the approach of starting with a small block and then building extensions as I think of them. Some folks start with a grand plan. I have started with grand plans and then gotten bored and never implemented them. So I've learned to start with small blocks and work my way up from there. One thing that would be helpful is some torches, Okay. Good night. Where was I? Myself a couple of nice doors. These fancy wood types are from the Regions Unexplored mod. Let's see. Oops. I've learned a few patterns that make early game building a little easier for me. But because of my tendency to get sidetracked by yet another shiny mod, I still haven't quite mastered some of the mid and late game techniques, and I hope to get to some of them this time around. Got the motivation to keep sharing and learning and sharing what I learn. It's all part of the fun for me. It is unsafe to have the trees right next to the house. At least that's what construction people tell me. This very early game stuff is honestly some of the most fun for me personally, because it's just getting the lay of the land, putting a teeny tiny foothold, and exploring and expanding from there. Perhaps eventually I'll learn the magic of the further progression. I was going to say I've never, killed the Ender Dragon, which is true, but I've also never been to the end. I mean, why? There's no grass there, and there's no sheep. Although I'm sure the sheep wouldn't mind me disappearing for a little bit. Ow. Let's get one more there. Start with the easy flat roof. Interesting sense of balance. Okay. Had to cough pretty deeply there. Sorry about that. Okay. Make a little more coal. All right. I think that's far enough along. Excuse me. Far enough along to mark the new home. Let's see. What was I going to do next? I was talking about my car. Let's actually try making an actual roof. Can I do that with what I have? Yes, I can. Let's see. Is this the right piece? No, hang on. Roof. Okay. It might be that that the modpack authors have not fully integrated. Yeah, correct. So since the larch comes from the regions unexplored, and by default, a lot of the macaw stuff is intended for vanilla, one would have to find or add a compatibility mod so that you can use larch on your roof. But we don't have that, so we're going to use spruce. What am I going on over here? Yeah, interesting. There's always some little quirk. There's always some little quirk with whatever mods and packs that you put together. And for somebody like me, that's part of the fun. For some folks who are slightly closer to normal, it might be a little frustrating to have those inconsistencies. Building a roof. And it didn't say I was building a fancy roof. Okay. Just marking the bones of where the rest of the roof is going. No, obviously a work in progress. Alright, back where we were. Kind of want the roof to go. Let's see. What's that? Okay, but I'm going to need more spruce than that. And as much fun as this part might be for me, I can understand how it might not be for the very early part. Might not be as much fun for, normal people. So I am explicitly planning on continuing some of the build process after I end the session, so that there'll be a little something more concrete for you to look at, and we can have more fun just wandering around and exploring the next time you join me. Well, I didn't think about that part, did I? Alright. Okay, so I'm thinking, oh goodness. Well, okay. I don't suppose I can turn those back into logs, can I? No, but I can smelt them. Alright, well. I built my roof pieces out of log instead of out of planks. That's an easy mistake. Fortunately, I can always make more. Probably going to be quite a few chops to make these. Oops. And we're at sunset time. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Oh. But it's bedtime now. One of the things that I set up was the clickable advancements, so that I can what is it? Let's see. Constructing a better pickaxe. Yeah. So your advancement shows up in chat. You can click on it, and it takes you there in the advancements listing. That's useful. Even though I'm not doing a quest book, I do like to track, improvements and milestones. Okay. So now I actually already have some spruce. I need to make myself another axe before I forget that. Okay, where were we? Let's see, 10. Well, that should be plenty. And I'm sure I'll find a use for the spruce trunk. There we go. For the spruce trunk roof. And pause for just a moment, folks. And back. Probably could have saved that cough for during the paused moment, but hey. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just not that bright. Let's see. So now we can get into some of the actual aesthetics of the roof. Like the fact that larch and spruce are not a great palette mix, at least not like this. So let's take out some of this work that we did, the placeholder work that we did with the larch. Besides, I wanted an attic over here anyways. Or something like an attic. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got the spruce that we can put here and here, and I can hypothetically, I don't like that. Okay. Maybe some plain old spruce roofs. And don't have enough sticks. Okay, I can resolve that. Why is it that the recovering part of a cold is so consistently more annoying, but less painful than the actual cold part of the cold? In case you were wondering whether I forgot about the eaves, I did not. Okay, this is looking nice. I need the copper wrench before I can do anything fancy with that. Okay, so now let's see what we got for basic building blocks. Oh, that hurt. Okay. Do this a little more carefully this time. You're really not paying attention to your own design aesthetics, are you? You know, maybe it would be in my best interest to do some of these streams when I haven't had a full work day to fry my brain with. But I'm getting it. You just gotta be patient with yourself sometimes. Okay, alright. Hey, this is starting to look like a thing. It's starting to look like a thing. Not a good thing, but a thing. Okay, my goodness. And I know for a fact I'm making this a little harder on myself than it needs to be. I was just so excited to get to the building of roofs. So let's see, what do I have? I do still have some spruce planks. Let's make a few. Oops, not too many. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do for a look. Okay. I'm gonna need more spruce roofs, though. Spruce roofs. Why couldn't have gone with oak? Oak roof is, well, honestly, that sounds kind of weird, too. Okay. Don't you judge me. I'm not a construction wizard. I occasionally have the question of, okay, but is this design realistic? And I remind myself that I am playing a game in which everything is a metric block, and the trees are metric blocks, and the animals fit in metric blocks. And then I worry a little less about realism. I go more for something like plausibility. Like, do I buy it? If I buy it, then that's realistic. Getting closer and closer. Hey, get back over there. Okay. Heck, you pay attention to what your design is. Okay. What has slightly surprised me is people have been showing up to watch this nonsense. Not huge numbers. That would freak me out at this point. But the fact that I record these and wander off and somebody comes and watches them, that's cool. Kinda unexpected. Because again, I'm just doing what I'd be doing anyways. The main exception, aside from the technical aspect of streaming, the main exception to I do this every night anyways is I am allowing the internal monologue that got me into trouble so many times as a kid when I said it out loud. I'm actually letting that be an external monologue again. And there's a certain part of my brain that is quite thrilled about that. So I just keep talking, and maybe someday I'll be talking to somebody else, a live audience. But for now, I'll talk to myself and whoever shows up later. And hello to you in the future. Did you know you're loved? You are. It's true. Okay. What was it? Oh yeah, because I need to complete the roof aesthetic. So it's a fun exercise in constraints to, I don't need that many roofs. I don't need nearly that many roofs. It's a fun exercise in constraints to build a good roof with planks and slabs and bits and bobs from vanilla Minecraft. But it is also immensely satisfying for somebody like me to build a roof and be able to look at it and go, hey, that's kind of a roof. Sweet. So, you gotta allow a little elbow room for all of your healthier aspects to manifest. Yeah, I was very careful not to say all of your aspects, because we all have issues of one kind or another. What do I want to put right here? Well, okay, so I know one thing I actually want is some slabs. There is a roof component, but the way that I have assembled my roofs with the slightly awkward slope, I'm going to need a few of those slabs for later, so I'll just make a bunch. Going with the slightly awkward slope has resulted in a look that is a little too unique for the stock components, for Macaw stock components. Okay, we've gotten far enough along that we can call this a roof. Yeah. Can't put a torch there because it's only a slab at half height. You need the whole space in order to place a light. Okay, so until I figure out what the heck I am going to put here, I'm just going to put some light. And let's go downstairs. Let's see what we got. Let's see what this has given us. Okay, so come in through the front door. Which is the front door? I mean, that's an aesthetic decision. That's just it's an arbitrary executive decision. I'd say this looks like a front door to me. All right, let's work with that. I wonder if I have enough axe for this much tree. Only 25 chops. This is a Friday night. I've given myself permission to go longer than strictly 1 hour, because I don't have to go to work in the morning. And my plan is rough. My rough plan at this point is 4 streams, 4 videos a week. 2 of them are intentionally about 1 hour, and that's the post-work, middle of the week wind down stuff. And then 1 session, give myself permission for about 2 hours. And then a 4th, which would either be a prepared video or another session of 1 or 2 hours. It's like, that's the weekend thing, and if we've got something going on that weekend, then it would be a short session. If we don't got something going on that weekend, I'd give myself permission to make it a longer session. I'm generous to myself like that. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Again, this color contrast I think needs some work, but the physical textures need work first. Like I crave some kind of entryway. Let's see. curtain rods. We have a drying rack. Okay, alright. Can do a fence. Or, oh, remember the other day when I was saying, can I build something with this? I can, in this mod. And this mod pack includes handcrafted, which is full of nifty decorative blocks like this. So, let's see, what if I build a roof on the floor? Okay. Is this plausible? Kind of, but I don't know. Well, let's just keep going. So we have those, we have these. I wonder. Okay. I'm not hating it. It's a little short, though. You'd be bumping your head on it. So what if we made that step a little higher? Okay. And then we do the same over here. And then we put a nifty slab right there. And one more here. Look at that. I kind of like it. I do need to find some iron, though. I want some lanterns. I want some proper lanterns. But, yeah, it's not terrible. So we've got our vanilla planks, but we've got handcrafted trim, pillar trim. Well, pillar, wall, whatever. A little tiny entryway roof thanks to Macaw. And then a proper roof. And I do want, well, I kind of want something for the side door, but at the same time, this is probably going to be an entryway to an expansion. So I'll leave that alone for now. But I still need to find iron. Actual honest to goodness iron and stone, actually. I need to find some cobblestone. Well, I can always find that the old-fashioned way. Let's see. Grab my shovel. And go find a corner and start digging straight down. Look, rock. Put a little light there. Okay, except I'm going to want a trap door there, or I'm going to fall right through, because I know me. Okay, good, we've got support for large trap doors. And how many ladder spaces do I got? How many ladder segments? 2? Well, let's use them. Okay. Yeah. There's bound to be caves. There's bound to be caves somewhere around here, but they're not as glaringly obvious in lithosphere, and I wanted to try the basic, as close to the intended experience of this mod pack as I could get. I was going to use the Continents World Gen mod, which does do the big scale, but is a little closer. What in the world? Okay, but is a little closer to a vanilla Minecraft expectations for the kind of things it generates. Like, one popular thing to do in the Minecraft world is to share a good seed, the randomizing seed that generates the world itself. The same seed can generate basically the same world. Tiny details are different, but all the big pieces and placements are the same, unless you're using lithosphere, because it changes so many details that you can't necessarily rely on the availability and placement of things. That sentence almost made sense. Lithosphere makes things different. It's cool, but it makes things different. That's all. And because I'm sticking with lithosphere, because when I get further on down the line, it will make for some pretty cool constructions where I can skip a lot of the terraforming and flattening and slope management of the whole environment that is more common with vanilla Minecraft generation worlds. People will take they'll take their vanilla generated hill and turn it into a long sloping foothill of a mountain. If you're in lithosphere, you just look around and find a long sloping foothill of a mountain. You don't have to. It's a detail you don't have to sweat. And honestly, for building, that's pretty cool. It gives you a canvas to work with. And my word, if somebody is listening to me jibber jabber while I'm just knocking out stone blocks one at a time, you are loved. It probably would be smarter for me to focus on a narrower tunnel for the moment, at least until I get to the right Y level, where I would expect to find some iron. Let's see. But we're at 8:58 on my time, and you're wonderful, but I can't expect you to hang out while I just keep digging and digging until I find iron. So just assume that's what I'm going to be doing, okay? And we can catch up later. And hopefully I'll have a little something more interesting to show you than a single long, narrow stone tunnel. I will let this be a private joy for myself. Okay? So, and also, I'm probably going to fiddle a little bit more with mods. Journey map is fine and dandy, and I know why people use it, but I really prefer 0 for my world map, and enough that I'm annoyed every time I look in the corner. So, yeah, I'll let you go. I'll fiddle with my new world over here a little bit, and the next time we come on, maybe we'll have a little more to show for you. But I will step out and take one more look at the world, at the house, so we can see what I made. I made this. Honestly, yeah. For a block house with ornamentation, it's not bad. You got ideas for more to do with it. Okay. You have a great night, folks. A great day, whenever it is that you happen to be around. Just enjoy yourself.